If you're tired of buying one more software just to document all of your processes and systems in your contracting business, then stay tuned and watch this video. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I use Google Docs and I help multi-million-dollar businesses use Google Documents to not only document their systems, but also to keep them always up to date and to keep them alive and working in your business. So that way they're always optimized and they're always working for you so that your business can be streamlined and you can grow your business. I'm Liz Chisholm and I am your favorite system strategist and business coach, giving you shortcuts, winning processes, and business strategies that you can implement after watching each and every one of my videos. Now, this video is all about Google Documents. If you're not currently using Google Documents and you're using other software programs, then you can cut those subscriptions and just use the basics. The more simple it is, the easier it is to use, and the more you'll actually use it. A system or a process, if it's documented, is only as good as it is being used. If you have documents written on how to do each and every process in your business, but nobody ever looks at them and nobody ever sees what it says, and they just kind of make up their own process, then those systems are not actually effective in your business. So one of the ways to actually make sure that everyone's on the same page and in your business working towards the same goals is through Google Documents. Now, this is a document I created for an SOP template for either a technician or installer of what their daily tasks should be. How should they work their way through their day? And what do they need to know when, why, and where to be the most efficient and work, getting the most results in your business? Now, let's say I'm building this out for the very first time and I don't have any processes or systems in place. I may just kind of guess at a couple things or think about, okay, maybe this is the first thing that they should do. This is the second thing that they should do, and so on and so forth. And as it gets implemented and people start following it, we may realize, ooh, that's actually not the first thing that they need to do. Maybe the first thing they need to do in the morning is to just open up the time clock app and clock in so that way their working hours are recorded. So what you would do is if you're like, okay, we need to change this process. Typically what happens in businesses is there's a discussion over Slack, over text message, over email, verbally, and it's like, hey, we forgot that we need to make sure we're clocking in the morning, and that's the first thing that we do in the morning. Okay, cool. And it ends up stopping there. Nobody ends up writing it down. Nobody ends up changing the SOP. Nobody ends up really focusing on the fact that that is part of the new system. So then when you hire somebody else into your business, they're getting the old way of doing something if they're handed this piece of paper, not the new way of doing something, aka clocking in the morning. So one of the ways that you can actually ensure that your SOPs, your systems, your standard operating procedures is what SOP stands for, are always up to date is to go in here and highlight whatever that thing that you want to talk about or discuss or change or modify. And you want to go Control-Alt-M. That then adds a comment to the document. And then you can add somebody and select their email address or select their way to contact them. And you can say, hey, so-and-so, here is the new process. Clock in is the first step of the day. So now I can push comment. So anyone who needs to see this document and see that change, it would say at and then their name, at and then their name. And so that way everyone gets notified that there is a comment here that they need to look at. So instead of having a discussion offline, over Slack, over email, over text message, you can actually put it directly into here. Then they can go in here and go, got it, and respond back and forth. And maybe they say, hey, don't forget, we need to do this. Or remember, we discussed this. And so you can actually put all of those discussions right here on the side of your document and keep it alive and working. Now, this is really important for two reasons. One is you want to make sure that everything's always up to date, that when you are systemizing your business and you are getting feedback and you're updating things and optimizing things and making those tweaks, that all of those things are captured so that they can be repeated. It's one thing to make a recipe and then forget what you did and can't repeat the recipe and make delicious food. It's another thing to have written down all the nuances that you did to change that recipe in order to make it taste better. And so this is a way way to actually do that. The second thing that this is really helpful for is that if you have an employee that suddenly leaves, you don't want all the knowledge that is in their heads that you've told them verbally or you've sent them a text message about to be gone. And so by having that discussion right here on the platform on Google Docs, then you can just have that. You've already captured all the information, and then you can just put that inside your SOP. So when you go and hire another technician or another installer or somebody else that will be doing fulfillment, they can see this. Now, this also works for any other area of your business. Put all the discussions here, make your SOPs here, and then it becomes a collaboration effort, and it becomes you collaborating with your team instead of you barking orders at your team. And by having that shift, you can change your business. Leave me a thumbs up if you think that this is awesome and you're going to start using Google Docs in your business.